Do not attempt to adjust your programming. You are now listening to B-Movies and Beyond.
Ew. You on your microphone?
My microphone.
It is episode 363 of B-Movies and Beyond. Ryan, we're 2 away. We've really got to plan something.
I have a plan.
Do ya?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. You have to fill me in on that.
Do you want another plan?
Yes.
Okay. Let's preview the audience to our plan as well. Let's put this shit on here.
The plan for this episode, we got some trailers. So many trailers. A lot of new ones because we just had Super Bowl. And, I mean, you don't even have to watch the Super Bowl to watch these trailers now because they just release them beforehand. So it doesn't even matter. But we got some big ones, Ryan. Fantastic Four, First Steps, Jurassic World Rebirth. One of my favorites, Final Destination Bloodlines, which I wasn't expecting. So, very cool. Some new news. Ghostbuster talk. I love that. So we'll get
anytime I see the word ghost and busters in a sentence together, I have to put it in there for Peter.
It makes you feel good? Well, it makes me feel good.
Bustin' makes me feel good, regardless if it was with you or someone else.
That's right. And we got some reviews. Blink twice and you're cordially invited. So stay tuned. But first, Ryan, are you going to tease this plan or we're just saving this for later? You're going to tell me off air.
No, we should let our fans know.
Oh, is that the plan?
Yeah, that's the plan. So our fans can know, because one of the biggest things that we've been waiting for is the season finale of Being Movie, or is it season or series finale?
We'll find out after the episode.
Episode 365, that's that's the goal of having an episode every single day for people to listen to. Now the next goal would be have B Movies be on every hour, so we need to go back and calculate how many hours we've recorded and combine that into
for how long
consecutively. I want one of those channels, I don't know, the Xena channel, where you can always just watch Xena.
Well, Ryan, on average, each episode is about an hour, right? At least. Usually probably an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that means we're at, let's see, how do I do the math on this?
While you're mathing, here's my plan.
Okay.
I was thinking about having a couple special guests I've been teasing from work who have been very anxious to be on the podcast. So I'm saving one of my movies for them. And then I'm thinking that might be the in-between. And then Nate posed... remember Nate? Nikki's husband? You know him, right?
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah. He invited me to my first BSMD... or no, D&D... What?
Yeah, there might be
swingers party. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, there might be some of that.
All of it.
What happens with D&D stays with that DMD party.
DMT. No. Whatever party we're invited to in March. I was like, why don't we just make that a celebration day of episode 365?
I was thinking the same thing, and let's have another drunken recording.
Drunken recording.
Yeah, drunken.
Sounds fantastic. I love this idea. We get to spend most of our time playing DMT, and then we get to record our favorite podcast.
Absolutely. Sounds
my first time ever with D&D, by the way.
Nice. We're going to pop that cherry.
And then we're going to pop the season finale of B movies and beyond.
That's right. That's right. It's been a long season. if that's a season is a whole year's worth of episodes, 365 episodes. Like, that's season 2 is the same thing. It's another 365.
Jeez,
Wow.
We're doing this wrong.
Yeah, but right. So I just did some math, and this is probably off. But dude, if we just really factored in like it's an hour each one, we got like 15 days of podcasts being played every hour on the hour. 15 days straight. How many days straight do you want?
Every day throughout the year.
Okay, we got a lot more work to do then.
I don't think you understood the question. Like,
no, I did not.
When
how many do you want?
when I go to the gym and the gym has one of those random channels on there, and you find out Baywatch has a channel where Baywatch is on every single moment of the day. That's what I want.
Yeah, but I mean, how many episodes of Baywatch? I mean, like, that's just getting looped over.
Oh, I see the loophole you're trying to make. Yeah. Shit. I didn't think that far. Because Baywatch certainly had more than 15 days consecutively of Baywatch.
Yeah. Dude, I'm just
maybe a month. I think a month is the next goal.
I don't know how many episodes?
Of Baywatch?
Yeah.
Is that Siri? Hey, Siri. Siri.
Oh.
How many episodes of Baywatch were there?
Baywatch has 242 episodes.
It's not even enough. They're not even 15 days. We have more hours, days of consecutive hour-long episodes than they do for Baywatch.
Huh.
So, there you go, Ron. Are you pleased with yourself? With us? With B-Movies and Beyond?
I need to figure a lengthier statistic than 15 days. That sounds like something David Hasselhoff would be okay with. But he did get
not
paid.
Us.
Yeah. Not us over here.
All right,
we want more.
Dude, that is a whole nother year of... Well, a whole nother 365 episodes to get to a whole month.
There it is. We need another 365 episodes.
We need like a whole other 5 years.
Man, I really got to work on these sponsorships so this is our career.
That's right. I put in more hours than.
Oh my God, I'd be recording nonstop. I'd be like iShowSpeed. I'd have cameras on me all the time.
There you go. Yeah. We'll figure it out though. But I like our ideas, Ryan. But before we move on, I have to ask. You've went on a rant about not watching the Super Bowl, and how'd that go? Did you boycott it?
Is that our quick question?
No, I just want to fill us in on what happened.
What happened on Sunday of the Super Bowl? Well, did I fulfill my obligations of boycotting the Super Bowl?
I don't know if it's obligations. It's personal obligations, I guess. Who's obligating you not to watch?
Myself. It is personal. Yeah. It was more so a boycott of just I'm tired of the Kansas City Chiefs. So it was a game time decision, to be honest with you. There had to be some very specific stipulations to me watching a game. I didn't want to be.
So you did watch it. That's what we're getting at. Okay.
The long and the short of it is I'm very satisfied with the results. And I think the halftime show was pretty okay. And I'm glad they didn't show Trump and Taylor Swift as much. And I thought the commercials sucked.
Yeah, I think I agree. Dude, to be honest, like I kind of forgot about the commercials.
I think they did too. Because like midway through the third quarter, I started seeing Frank Azar commercials.
Yeah. It's not quite the same as it once was. But yes, I'm happy with the outcome. It was a very fun watch. We had some friends over. We turned into a drinking game, which makes it even better.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, and played some bingo with that. Like,
Okay.
It was a good time, and just watching the Eagles smack the shit out of the Chiefs, that was just really fun to watch.
Yeah. It made it worth it. It made it. See, why I was boycotting was I was just tired of the same old, and I think the NFL figured it out before the Super Bowl, which led me to my game time decision of watching it, because I'm like, I think they're tired of this shit too, and they realize if they don't have enough commercials by the end of the third quarter, then something's got to change. And I think by sponsorship and money that went through, they boycotted for me, allowing me to partake and enjoy the game.
I see. Yeah.
So, thank you for listening to us prior to this, because fuck the Chiefs, dude. Fuck the Chiefs.
Damn.
So hard in every orifice possible.
Has this happened to you yet? Like I went to work and I just started, talking about it, like, oh man, it was so awesome, and just talking to people about how great it was to see the Kansas City Chiefs just go down in flames, and really that final score is really kind of like not truly the real score,
Didn't they call it instead of garbage time, they called it recycled time? Like they even came up with a PC term for garbage time. Like the Chiefs were just making garbage scores. Like if you have a 65+ yard Hail Mary pass while the other team is pouring Gatorade on the other coach,
yeah,
that shouldn't count.
And even then, like you watch the Eagles defenders, like they're just kind of like like we're not gonna get hurt doing this. Go ahead, make your catch, get your touchdown. It's fine. But like literally, I mean, like the true score was probably like 6 to like whatever the Eagles got, 41, 42. That's the true score. Like they laid the smack down on the Chiefs, and it was so much fun. All right.
I take it back. If there was a channel of NFL games and every single one of them was the Chiefs, but the Chiefs losing, I would watch that all day.
Oh, that would be fun. I like that idea.
Like your favorite team or your least favorite team losing all the time.
Yeah. I like it.
That should be a YouTube channel. Like someone can click that and just watch full games of their opponents getting the smackdown. I like that idea.
NFL will come after you though. All those copyright things, man. Like it's ridiculous.
I'd have to rename the players. Like it'd be Patrick M'Apartments.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan. Let's get into our quick question, because we gotta make it quick.
What? How? Why? I have so many questions!
We gotta make it quick because we got a shit ton of trailers to get to.
So, Peter.
Yes.
I was looking for news. There's not a lot of news. Right now, it's all reviews of Captain America, and don't want to talk about it too much. But in betwixt that, I found a little article that says, are Tom Cruise Collateral and Jason Statham's Transporter connected? Now, leads me to the I can't talk today, Jesus, to the question of, if you had two movie franchises, main characters, which ones do you think would be connected?
What two movie franchise characters do you believe are connected? Like, so currently connected.
No, they don't have to be connected. So,
no, I know, like that. I think there's a connection. Dude, we do this all the time on this podcast. Is this the prequel to this movie? I mean, isn't that the connection right there? I mean, isn't that what we're talking about?
No, not really. Like, here, Chris. What's his name?
Pine? Chris Pratt? Chris Evans?
Chris Evans.
Okay.
Like, what if his Super Mario is connected to Garfield? Bad example. What if oh, this is a hard one. I didn't even think about how hard this question really would be.
Well, I mean, you kind of already described it. So the thing, and I totally forgot this, is that Jason Statham makes a cameo, like basically almost like uncredited, in Collateral with Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
And Collateral is all about Tom Cruise is a hitman. He gets in this taxi cab that Jamie Foxx is driving and basically just forces him to drive him around while he's doing his shit, right? Somewhere along the lines, because I totally forgot this, Jason Statham gives him like a bag, and that is all you see of Jason Statham. And so they're saying, was that guy the guy from Transporter? So making that connection, and I guess Jason Statham's like, absolutely, I think it is. You know, that's how I played it, which, I mean, you really couldn't get much from that.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm trying to think of movies that have these small cameos, or at least just some type of weird connection that makes me think that something's connected. And I swear this is what we do all the time. And I
think I just isolated our everyday conversation into a quick question, which...
Exactly. But now that I'm on the spot, I can't recall things that we were just talking about that, oh, dude, this is this, you know, and this movies are connected.
Like, I want to connect a Nick Cage character to, like, Keanu Reeves character.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is tough. Maybe this is a group collective with other people. Maybe this is a save it. We can say we save this one.
Maybe. Yes. All right.
Let's save this one. We got a lot of trailers. And so whoever's listening, give us your ideas. And I'll pose a question to a couple people too, because we might have some special guests in between before episode 365.
All right. Yeah, we'll have to come back to this.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, shit. Peter, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's knock out all these trailers. We have supposedly 10 minutes, according to notes.
Here are some exciting coming attractions from
B-Movies and Beyond.
Trailers. And I love how initially I put in there, like, this is how long we should try to go. We've never done that. I don't think one time on our allotted time to try to keep this thing to about an hour.
50,
But
55. You have this podcast for about like an hour and 5 minutes, and this has never been an hour and 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, the last couple of ones we've been pretty good because I think we've breezed through the notes because there hasn't been too many things. But
yeah, even in the movie theaters.
I know. We'll see how this one goes. All right, trailers. Got a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch were, I think, put out there due to Super Bowl. We also had some, 2 weeks in between our last recording. So, we've got a bunch. And, and we have taken off some. But where do you want to start? Or maybe we just kind of knock out some ones that we really don't want to spend too much time on.
Friendship. I don't like friendship. Especially with you guys. I'm just joking. Wow. Did you watch this trailer real quick?
I did.
Okay, so Paul Rudd, I forgot the main character. What's his name? He's the guy who's like, are you sure about that? You sure about that?
I want to say Tim Robbins, but I don't think that's right.
It is like Tim Robbins, dude. Tim Robinson.
Yes.
He's that guy. Are you sure about that? You sure? Okay, so it starts off with his hot wife is like, hey, I set up some time where you hang out with the neighbors, and then they do a bunch of cool neighbor shit together. Kind of like that one episode or that one scene in Knocked Up, where Paul Rudd like secretly goes out and hangs out with his buddies.
His fantasy baseball team.
Yeah, fantasy baseball team, but like this one, they do other cool things, you know? And Tim Robbins, by the looks of this trailer, seems to get very attached, and then the trailer kind of goes dark. But then all the reviews in the trailer as it's getting dark are saying how funny this is. So I'm really conflicted if this is funny or if this is a dark movie.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I the whole tone of it made it really seem like this is kind of dark. And I'm very interested. This is a film that's making the rounds like at all the festivals and everything, and it's A24, so it looks good. And I'm a fan of Tim Robinson. I think I like his comedy, I like his style, and if I'm not wrong, I think he actually wrote this. Am I right on that? Let's see here. Let me push some buttons and try to find this out. Writer.
Friendship. Aw, if you Wikipedia, it says a mutual affection between people. I don't know if that's
I guess
true.
he did not write it. I lied. Just kidding, everyone. That's a bummer.
Still want to see it.
Yeah, me too.
So,
it's the guy that directed it too, Andrew DeYoung. He's also the writer. So, but I mean, dude, Paul Rudd, Kate Mara. It looks like a real hoot.
I'm in for it. This is something I would go see because the selection of movies at movie theaters has been really lame lately. So maybe this is a good start to this season. Peter, you pick next.
I'm just gonna get this one out of the way. I think Locked. We put Locked. This is Bill Skarsgård, and I think it's an interesting concept, but there's not much to this. I mean, dude, this Bill Skarsgård, which man, he is really good. I like how he just kind of
everything.
Yeah, and he transforms like in this one. He's like this kind of bleached blonde hair, like just guy that's just trying to, steal and kind of just capitalize on people not locking their doors on their cars. And he just happens to get into a car that he shouldn't have gotten into, and it's locked, and he's trapped inside this car, and this car or person teaches him a lesson about stealing and how that's wrong. And it's kind of interesting, but I think it's really just, in this trailer alone, I was like, man, the performance by Bill Skarsgård is just, it's nice.
Also, the voice and the person behind the car is Anthony Hopkins.
Yep.
So
this makes sense, right? This is what you do when you get older. Let's just do voice work, man. Isn't that what he did with Zack Snyder's weird films on Netflix? The robot.
Never saw them.
I watched the first one.
Remember, that's one I promised I'd watch and I never did. How come I can promise you I won't watch something, but I'll go see it, but I can promise you something I will watch it and I won't ever watch it?
Dude, it's so different, man. When you go out to a theater and, like, you are making a commitment, right?
Right.
When you're at home, those commitments are not there. It's been rough. Like, a movie really has to like capture me to make it so I can actually like make it through the film. And there's been more and more movies where I don't finish them. I just kind of stop and move on with my life. So, and those Rebel Moon movies, I understand. Those are movies where I don't think my life would stop, and I stopped that film to continue my life. So,
well, I also think it's the way that we consume our movies nowadays. Like, if Rebel Moon came out in the 70s before Star Wars, it could have been like Star Wars. You know? Because
Zack Snyder wouldn't have had the idea because he stole it from Star Wars and all the other sci-fi movies.
True. But if he was a pioneer back then, but that goes to your point that you would go to a movie theater to enjoy it versus like, oh yeah, that's just casually at home.
Name one original Zack Snyder piece. That's good.
What's the one with the girl who was in prison and she was it's really
Punch? The
Sucker Punch. Yeah,
it's a graphic novel. Dude, this has probably been the closest he's come, but even then, you watch Rebel Moon and it is like literally just he's just pulling from all these other films, you know, like yeah, I guess you made an original story, but I can literally just pick parts of this, like this is from Dune, this is from Star Wars, this is like Star Trek, this is just any other space movie out there, and he just kind of plopped them all together to kind of make something.
Oh my god, dude! I never realized that, but Zack Snyder has never made an original piece.
Not in my opinion, because even the Army of the Dead, right? I actually enjoyed that, but
it's a spiritual successor to Dawn of the Dead.
Exactly, which that's just a remake.
And he remade Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, exactly. And 300's based off a graphic novel. Watchmen's based off of graphic novels. Then he did this Man of Steel again. Comic books galore. Like, really, like he just stills. That's kind of what I got from this.
Wow.
And the closest, right? I guess you could say Rebel Moon and maybe Army of the Dead. Like those are like the closest he's come. Like this is his.
But he based those off his pitch for Star Wars.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That it is like you kind of original, but they also really suck. The stuff he's actually like I like him for is the stuff that he's adapted from graphic novels because the story's actually good there.
All right.
I think we're just learning, stuff about Zack Snyder. So. Netflix, you probably paid him way too much money to.
And by paying him, you forgot to put overpaid.
Yes, that's right.
Next up for me would be Jurassic World Rebirth. I usually like Jurassic World movies. See, here I go again. Probably going to see this one.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, I will. So it's a different spin. Like they're getting DNA from the research facility in a different area that is just overtaken by dinosaurs and no people live there. And there's a big giant alien resurrection looking mongoloid dinosaur.
Yep.
But instead of Bryce Dallas Howard, it's Scarlett Johansson.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Fair enough.
Man. I can't really say I'm excited to see this. Will I see it? Absolutely. It's just, here's what I'll say about for like Jurassic World is like I thought they actually went in a new direction and did something that we have not seen with the Jurassic Park franchise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel like they're just trying to go right back to what that was and not really doing anything new. And to me, that's kind of it's an issue. Like, they had this whole new world. Like, you talked about some connected universes. Is like, man, they opened this up to do some crazy shit with humans and dinosaurs. And yet they're just trying to like, let's just go back to island, Which, I mean, I get it. Makes sense. The ones usually based on the island are a little bit better. But the cat's out of the bag, right? And that's already done. Like, you got to move forward. You got to do something new and original. And just giving us a new creature, I don't know if that doesn't do it. I don't think that's enough. And especially talk about some connections. Like, dude, the director or the director or writer, like, dude, he straight up just admits, like, dude, it is the xenomorph from Aliens. It's a Rancor from Star Wars, and I forget the third creature, but you literally can see all of it in the creature that you see in the trailer. Like, talk about stilling, right?
Gareth Edwards, he's a master at rehashing classic franchises such as Godzilla, Star Wars.
Oh, this is that guy. Oh man, I gotta say,
maybe
wait, what
is this
what did he do with Star Wars? What did Gareth Edwards do with Star Wars?
one of the best ones? Rogue One.
Oh, okay, all right, that was really good. But
Yeah.
Dude, Godzilla. I know it's created this whole monster universe thing, which I was disappointed with Godzilla. Like, I did not think he was very good.
Oh, he did The Creator, and I like that movie.
I have not watched that yet. Okay, so I guess he's hit or miss for some of his stuff.
Monsters, Godzilla, Rogue One, The Creator, and Jurassic World Rebirth.
He did Monsters?
Yes.
Okay. I like that. All right.
That was his, so that's funny. There's like 2 of them I like, and there's 2 of them you like.
Well, one of them I haven't seen. I bet I will probably like Creators.
You'll like it. I know
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, back to the whole Jurassic Park thing. Like, I feel like this is going to be back to, like, where I'm not going to like it as much. It's going to remind me more of, like, the Godzilla, where I didn't like that reimagining. And this is like a reimagining, in a sense, but even, worse, because they're, again, what do you go out like Jurassic Universe, change it again, like instead of Jurassic, went from Jurassic Park to Jurassic World. Like, I think we're done with the Jurassic World stuff. We gotta change it up to something else. Jurassic Island, like, what's the new thing?
Pre-Jurassic Park.
Pre-Jurassic, or let's go down the Lost World era. Like, let's use that title for a while. Time travel, yeah. I don't know, dude. I think this is the last ditch effort to
Jurassic Multiverse.
Ooh, see this? Okay, you're getting into something where, like, all right, you start bringing in G.I. Joes, Fast and Furious, like we always wanted. Man,
End of all. There it is. That's the answer to the question. It wasn't about a person. It was about a franchise. The Jurassic Park World Multiverse would be G.I. Joe and Jurassic Park, eventually with Fast and Furious leading to Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
and maybe some Transformers.
Done.
Yeah,
We fixed it.
we did.
Well, should, after 365, we should rename the podcast. There, we fixed it.
Fixed it. Yeah. So, we'll see what happens. If it makes money, obviously they're going to get another one.
Mm-hmm. Always. Peter, you got another one for us?
Let's do Final Destination Bloodlines. I've been hearing about this movie for a while, and talk about a teaser, man. Like, it was fantastic. Like, this is the way to do it. We all know what Final Destination is, and they literally just had, like, I don't know, probably a very small scene in this movie where you get to see almost the whole death sequence of a person. And then they just put some flashes of titles and shit on the screen, and boom. It was a fantastic trailer. It is everything that you know and love with Final Destination, and that's all you need. I don't, like, all I know is that it's somewhat related, like, it's coming for families now, which I think is a cool concept, continuation of the Final Destination franchise, and that's all I need to know. There's going to be cool deaths, which you saw in this teaser, and it's going to be family related. That's all you need to know. I'm in. So, can't wait.
By your statement, you made it seem like it was like family friendly. By the way, it's family friendly.
Family related.
I did not say that. Correction. Yeah, I mean, hey, why not? This is movies like this are fun to watch in the movie theater. So with that,
Oh yeah.
and Peter, the big one, you and I both can share this one. We got our first look at Marvel's first family, the pre-Avengers. Just joking. It's Fantastic Four, the first steps. It seems like it's in a multiverse, like a 60s style multiverse. Doesn't take place in our current Avenger timeline. What is it? Marvel 616? Is that what we're getting? Okay.
Yeah.
So is this Marvel's way of introducing different styles and bringing it to our current universe?
I don't know. Obviously, there's going to be some type of crossover, but I don't know. Beyond that, I don't know how to answer this question.
What I like about, I think so, because in this current Marvel universe where we have the Avengers and what story is taking place, there's no mention of this like family that went to space with mutant like powers, right?
Yes.
So I think this is Disney's way of not rewriting, but reintroducing the characters into our current timeline. What was it in Deadpool? Deadpool coined it. The master timeline or something like that?
Yes, there's like the 616 timeline. But then they what they kind of talked about was that these other timelines have these key characters and they can
anchor beams or anchor.
Yeah, anchors. So are you saying this like they're kind of like an anchor to like their timeline?
Right. Anchor being what is the main timeline? It's going to come to me, but maybe this is why Deadpool was released before all this, because this is a way for them to rewrite a multiverse and bring him into this. That's exactly what's going on. Deadpool reintroduced the possibility of different multiverses and that their timelines are starting to collapse. So think about this movie. This movie can have an ending, and it is Galactus destroying that timeline and the Fantastic Four family, along with that Doctor Doom, making it over to this timeline.
Yeah, I see that. But do they really? Why can't they just stay in their timeline?
Well, how are they going to introduce them for the Avengers in Avengers Doomsday?
Well, okay, so we live. Okay, oh man, we're getting so nerdy here. But so 616 timeline, right? They are now aware that there is multiverses out there. That means that that's their connection, right? They know like they can go out and like seek others for help. Which right then and there, you can go and do that. You go and get them when you need to, and then put them right back, right? They just stay in their world.
Not if Galactus destroys it.
Well, again, but why? I mean, is that really necessary? My question is, why do they all have to be in the same timeline? That's my question. Why do they all have to be in the part like the 616? Why can't they just be in their little separate thing and just come and visit every once in a while?
Because, Peter, here's the name. It's the sacred timeline.
Okay.
But that's the point of Galactus. Galactus is the destroyer of galaxies. So that's a way for them to really show that Galactus can destroy a galaxy and a timeline and make his asshole all the way over here where Avengers Doomsday has to be a very epic-ass movie.
Yeah.
And think about this. There's an X-Men timeline somewhere.
I know.
Because now like that's Disney's way of just throwing in all these characters into the sacred timeline. And know. Having it make sense.
Here's the thing. Here's my opinion on this is that I think Marvel should take a step away from this whole sacred timeline shit and just focus on making some good movies that are not so much connected. And
Rumor
then
has it that's what
figure that
Captain
out.
America is.
That what?
Rumor has it that Captain America is very much a Marvel movie and has elements of being just a good Marvel movie.
That's I've read a couple quick blurbs on it, and I've heard that, but we still know it's still connected. Like, which that's what I'm saying. Like, as I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like kind of keep it separate. I miss the days where we just had like a standalone movie and then just a stinger at the end. You know, like that's all they gotta do. Have a standalone movie and maybe even cancel the stingers, right? Like, we know that somehow this is all connected or that they can interact with other characters. They don't have to just rub it in our face. So I don't need them to like have their worlds destroyed and then come to like this sacred timeline. Like, that's just too much. It's unnecessary. Like, they can have enough stories, enough connection in their own world, doing their own shit. And even then, Ryan, who's to say? Why can't the Fantastic Four's world be also the mutant world, right? Like, they can just have a whole separate thing and almost like, let's just follow this new timeline that has all the stuff that we haven't seen before. X-Men, Fantastic Four, Blade, why can't they all live over there?
And then take the characters from the sacred timeline to their timeline?
No, just kill them off.
But that's what they're doing with the other timelines.
That's again, I feel like they're going the wrong way. Kill off the sacred timeline and focus on a new timeline. That's
so
my
call
thought.
it
I think
Sacred Timeline 2.0?
Yeah, exactly. Like, just be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think I almost feel like it's run its course with those old characters. So like, they've changed so much and they've killed off a lot of them. And, like, I'm just like, let's focus on some new ones and almost just kind of forget about that. Try not to make that so connected to the sacred timeline, and I'm hopeful that maybe this Fantastic Four movie can be that. So we'll see. Now, just on the trailer itself, Ryan, like, did this movie get you excited for this?
Yeah.
Did it?
Until you came in and crushed all my hopes and dreams of tying everything together.
So you like that aspect of it, huh?
Dude, think about this. We live in a day and age where a movie studio was able to tie franchises together in one big movie and created a multiverse or created its own, like, it's branded it its own thing. Like, that's the core concept of the MCU is how can we make these movies but tie it to a bigger picture. So that leads you to wanting more. Marvel's been successful at it. They flopped for a little bit of time, but I think like their goal is to get back to what they were good at. And I truly think it starts with Fantastic Four. I think we're going to get a Captain America that's going to tell you where that and Thunderbolts are going to be. We didn't even talk about like the latest Thunderbolts trailer where, they show that the Avenger Tower is doomed. Like, it's not there. But in the Fantastic Four movie trailer, you see their tower, whatever it's called, the Frank Azar Tower. I don't know what it's called.
Uh-huh.
But if you look at it, it looks very similar to the Avengers Tower. Yeah. Not the same, but similar. And then people are starting to analyze what this version of New York looks like. So, like, it is its own universe. It's like a 60s stylized movie. Kind of reminds me of the Jetsons, but in 1960s New York in this different multiverse. So we get something fun, and either we can get one or two of them, and then plop, there you go. Move these people into this other world where you're like, oh, okay, and destroy everybody's hopes of the Office Fantastic Four family. Like what's his name, John Krasinski and Pam. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I'm glad we're getting a Captain America because we're getting a new Captain America. That's probably going to tie into the Thunderbolts right now. So we're getting this, and then here comes Fantastic Four, and we can see how they start. It's inevitable. Oh my god. It's going to happen. Right. Avengers is going to happen. Like they're starting pre-production right now, like
we already know. Like
anyway, we got a little bit of news. All right.
News.
Good news. Good news. What do we got? Good, quick news. This one's for you, Peter.
Through it. Yeah.
The real reason director Ivan Reitman never made Ghostbusters 3. Do you know why?
I went to the article and I was reading through, and he just likes new stories.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
My dad never understood sequels, and my dad was like, I don't know why people want to return to this stuff.
Yeah. Which, I mean, maybe he was right on that.
He serves a good point there, and I mean, if you think about it, the new Ghostbusters were completely rewritten. It's only until Hollywood came in and we're like, hey, throw in a little bit of nostalgia for the people.
So I didn't read that whole article. Like, I kind of, so Jason Reitman did an interview, like a podcast with someone. I kind of want to go listen to that and kind of get more information on it. Which, like, I get it. Like, one of the things that I heard or I read on that article from Slash Films is that when Jason was giving his dad the script for Ghostbusters Afterlife, he's like, "You're doing Gozer again? Why?" Like, and there's a part of me that feels exactly the same way that Ivan does. Is why?
Yeah.
Move on. Like, I was just, again, it's kind of been like the themes, like, move on from this stuff. We don't need to go back, Jurassic World Rebirth. We don't need to revisit this. Move forward. Like, I'm totally cool with using the same characters and everything, but give me a new story. And then, but now, like with the, how Ghostbusters Frozen Empire worked, and you can say what you want, right? Like, oh, it's because they didn't move forward because they kept on going back to the old Ghostbusters, and maybe that's another reason. Like, maybe they do just need to let go and move forward. But they did, like, they moved on with a new villain, right? Like, that was nice to see, but maybe they need to drop the rest of the stuff, right? And fully commit to this whole new cast.
Yeah, it's like they started to fully commit to the all new cast, and then they went right back to it.
Yeah, and more so than in Afterlife, like, which again, like, for me being a fan, I was good with it. I really enjoyed Frozen Empire. I hope they make something else, but at the same time, I don't think you need the full original cast. Just maybe sprinkle them in, like, 1, 2 throughout a movie, but, let these new characters really shine. That's my thought on it. So, what else we got?
Dave Bautista. 2 things. He said at one point that he wouldn't mind revisiting Drax. That just completely reaffirms what you were talking about. Yeah, but he wants fans to petition to get a Gears of War movie going. My feelings on this one, little too late. They're not even making Gears of War video games right now, so why would they start a movie franchise with it? I think this is just Dave Bautista like, oh yeah, I look like Marcus Phoenix, so I should have my own franchise.
He does, but he has to get jacked again, man. He's like
Right?
slimmed down so much. Like, did he not learn anything from The Rock? And when he got skinny, like, dude, it doesn't work. Get big again. Especially, I'm fine with this whole like make a live action Gears of War. Like, I'm good with that. I think that could be a really cool, fun movie. But right now, Dave, you are not him. You gotta get bulked up. So.
You know how you make Gears of War? You go watch the 1997 space opera Starship Troopers, and you redo that movie in Gears of War.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
If someone did that like story reskinned as Gears of War, I'd be in. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there's similar stories, but I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
This one's real quick. I thought this was interesting. $2.9 billion is what Star Trek has made on streaming. $2.6 billion worldwide.
2.6 billion?
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit. That is impressive.
No wonder why there's a bunch of Star Trek content. They figured it out. They don't need movies. They just need to pump out different Star Trek stories on streaming.
Wow.
$2.6 billion, dude.
That is crazy. I mean, is that like with like not just streaming stuff? Like we're talking like stuff they like toys and stuff. Like are we talking about like all the products and everything that they have for Star Trek? Like, I mean, I'm just curious, like where that all comes from. Like that is nuts.
Nope. The Wrap has reported via Parrot Analytics streaming economics platform that Star Trek has, from January 2020 to December 2024, raked in $2.6 billion worldwide. So just streaming.
How do you figure that? That's just people doing the streaming content and how much they spend per year on that and how many...
Oh, dude, anytime you watch a show, like, dude, if anything, streaming is more accurate data than the Nielsen data that TV shows used to get. Like, like Paramount has data on how many times people can literally click on Star Trek and let it run. You know, Paramount has data on how long people have watched them. You know, like Nielsen like will put something that says like AEW has 1 million people watching it, but really it's just the people who forgot to turn off Big Bang Theory, you know? And that happens a lot. Like
that happens with my streaming too.
But streaming knows the point when you shut it off. And dude, I mean,
well, I'm talking about like how many times have you fallen asleep and you wake up to like, are you still watching this?
Dude, and I was thinking about this other day. If they're not watching us through a hidden camera on our televisions, these streaming boxes certainly have a microphone.
Sure, yeah.
They have to. I mean, because if they can, like, determine me making sleeping noises, like, they're like, oh, yeah, you know, this dude's sleeping.
Yeah, I also just think, like, oh, man, you have not touched that remote in a long time. Like, I think they know that the average person pauses, taps that remote, does something, you know, like within a certain amount of time, right?
Oh, easy.
What?
Easy, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Like I can't even make it through a movie without pausing or something, right? Like, so it makes sense to me that they kind of know that you're probably not really watching right now, but I don't know, that's crazy. I mean, I think just good on you, Star Trek and Paramount, really, right? Wow.
Yeah. And think about like most of the Star Trek content. It's all old. it's only recently until they came out with these new shows, but this is syndicate television just reprinting money.
Yeah, but I mean, they already have had like how many new Star Trek shows on Paramount Plus? Like,
oh, fair.
Like they're
But
still pumping it out. Like I, that's the new thing is like, okay, this is just Star Trek as a whole. Like, how much is that like versus like new compared to old? Movies versus TV. Like, that's kind of I'm interested in that.
Yeah. You got two pieces for us, Peter.
Oh, the first one. This is just an announcement because we were saying like, man, when is this ever coming out? And we got the news that Toxic Avenger did finally get a distributing company, and we actually have a date for when it's actually going to be arriving this year, and it's going to be August 29th. So put it in your calendars. Go into the movies August 29th to go see the Toxic Avenger. Can't wait. And the last thing here is, and also just kind of like, how do you feel about this in movies just kind of bringing people back from the dead, basically? And I don't really like this, but Matthew Lillard is returning to the Scream franchise for Scream 7 as Stu, who's been dead. Like, I don't know if I really like this. Do you like this?
Well, let's see. If he came from the Scream universe from the late 90s and their sacred timeline exploded and merged with our sacred timeline, then I think it makes sense. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay. All right.
And somehow he intertwined with the Freddy timeline, and then Chucky messed with the time portal TVA. Yeah, like...
Now that kind of stuff I can get behind, Ryan.
So I just had to replace the characters from Marvel characters to horror characters.
Exactly. Yes.
I don't know. I mean, maybe this is a tactic for people to go be like, why is he coming back? He should come back as Shaggy, dude.
That'd be
new
fun.
Character. Shaggy.
Hey, you know what? I'm probably okay with that. If he just, he's aged so much, right? He just comes back as someone new. I'm good with that.
I mean, they're going to have to explain that with Robert Downey Jr. with Doom.
Okay. Real fast, right back to that first, or Fantastic Four first steps. I am, like, that's the one thing that I'm going to be like, is Robert Downey Jr. going to make an appearance in that film? Like, I feel like he has to, or he's going to be the stinger at the end. Mm-hmm. And that part, that alone, that would probably get me to go see this movie. So
that's the one.
Which is so weird because I was just saying move on. But I really like Robert Downey Jr. And I like that he's playing someone new. He's moved on from Iron Man. All right. Sorry. Let's move on. Let's get into reviews.
No, it's totally fine. Hey, I think it's time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Reviews. It's time. It's time.
Ryan, what did you watch? Actually, I know what you watched, and I'm actually pretty excited about this. I've been kind of hearing a lot of buzz about this movie, and I know when I first watched the trailer for it, I wasn't too sure, but now I'm really interested, and I'm really interested in your opinion on it to see if I need to watch this or not.
So we saw this trailer, and both of us were kind of like, meh.
Mm-hmm.
It did have a slight theatrical release. It got legs at the end. Remember?
No.
Initially, it was like, oh yeah, it's out there. But I think it's because like Substance was out there, and it was battling with all those other great end of year movies. This one is Blink Twice, directed by Zoe Kravitz. Directorial debut. I want to say that the funny thing about this movie was Before it was called Blink Twice, I think it was called like Pussy Island or something. Which makes sense.
See, now interested. More.
Oh,
interested.
this is very interesting. She was with Channing Tatum all the way up until 2024. Lead actor in this is Channing Tatum. And
Wait, they're not together anymore?
No, I just looked at her wiki, and she is no longer with him.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know why. I mean, I could find out as I'm talking about it. Let's see. Before announcing their engagement in 2023, in October 2024, it has been reported they split up. No fucking wonder why he was a creep in this movie.
Okay.
Just joking. I don't know why. But movie follows, what's her name? Naomi Aki, and that weird lesbian chick from that Comedy Central show. I forgot her name. Ali Maria Shakwat. Oh, she's from Arrested Development. She's what's her name? Maybe Funky. She's maybe.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so follows two friends, and they're kind of like two broke college girls, and they stumble upon the billionaire tech mogul Slater King at a couple parties, and he really falls for her name is Frida. That's Naomi Aki. And then the movie kind of sets up the stage where like they're gallivanting around all these parties, and he's just kind of like he's into her, and then he invites her to his island. But to set up the preface for this story is he got in a lot of trouble, and I think it was like they didn't really kind of say it, but it was like a sexual allegation kind of thing, and he's like, nope, I'm clean, and my island has really helped me out. You get on this island, so they kind of like hide where the island's at. They get there, and then everything's just chill. It's like a party island. It's like a slow, chill party. They give you cocktails. They give you perfumes, luxuries of like being there. And who else is in there? Haley Joel Osment's there. Frida, her best friend. You have a photographer. You have the private chef. Who else is in there? Christian Slater. Then you have like a reality TV star. You have the lawyer, the therapist, stuff like that. So they're following Channing Tatum, and his kind of like, here's my island. Have fun. Let's party. And then, but he's like, hey, I pay attention. I'm very into my therapy. I'm into rehabbing myself kind of thing. And then they start getting into parties, and then they have these magical drugs that they're doing. It's kind of like a psychedelic, like a mushroom, but it's not a mushroom, it's a vial. And then they just start having these blackout parties, right? And then that's kind of what you alluded to, is it's just a bunch of blackout parties. Then weird shit starts happening. As any scary movie does, where a bunch of people are stuck on an island with no cell phone service because they took their cell phones away. And there's a weird, creepy sister who kind of just like says, hi, how's everybody doing? That's how this story builds up. Like, you start getting these little pieces here and there, and then putting it together. And that's where, like, this is what I'm going to do in good old Ryan fashion. I'm not going to go any further into this story, because I feel like it'd give it away. But is it a horror? No, it's kind of like a mind fuck. And why this movie is, I think it's getting a lot of like praise right now, or like kind of scrutiny it's getting for, is because it hits really close with like Jeffrey Epstein's Island. And like what celebrities are doing, and how they're using their wealth to act above everybody else, and using like everyday people as like a pawn in this. And I think that's where like there's a little bit of realism into this. As outrageous as it may be, it doesn't seem too far-fetched that this could really be happening with someone with billions of dollars and a secret lifestyle.
Interesting. I think what you just described there at the end, just how like it is a mind fuck. That is the buzz that I have been hearing, and I don't think I got that from the trailer, and that's why it's been more. I've been more interested in watching this movie is because of that aspect of it. So, is it worth a watch, Ryan?
Yeah. When I was watching it, it was one of those late night movies where Brittany and I had it on, and either one of us were like hitting each other going, hey, don't fall asleep. Hey, don't fall asleep. And then at one point, I think we just both were up just watching this. So this is a really good movie that with a build-up, you know, like initially, like you just kind of start filling it out, testing the waters, and you're like, okay, I kind of see what's going on. This is kind of interesting. And then it just starts getting heavy with it. And that's where you're just, okay. And then when it ends, you're left with questions. And then this is one of my favorite type of movies where the next day I'm still thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, I get this part of it. I understand this part now. And then that's where I came up with like the way to really explain as the buildup happens that it is a mind fuck. And like I think it has a good payoff. And I think it's something that you initially by the trailer wanted to see, and it gained enough hype anyway. I would recommend you watching this one.
Nice. I know it's on Amazon Prime, so that's why I also have been like, oh, I can easily watch this. Maybe
and this is a good time to watch it. It's on Prime, and it's free and included, I guess I should say, not free. Yeah. Channing Tatum, I like the roles he's been doing lately, you know? Like, when he first came out, he was just this dumb meathead jock kind of guy, and now he's kind of like a lost soul, like a lost puppy, like lost in franchises, lost with accents, stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I plan on checking it out at some point.
As you should.
The movie I checked out is the new movie. It's also on Prime. Is Cordially Invited. No, You're Cordially Invited with Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a new. I don't want to call it romantic comedy. It's just I'm just gonna say comedy, and almost the romance part is kind of shoehorned in, which is actually, in my opinion, a little bit of the downfall. But it's not a deal breaker. All right. So, Will Ferrell plays a dad. His daughter is getting married, and he wants to have. Well, I guess they all want to have the wedding take place at this on this island, where Will Ferrell and his wife got married, and sadly, she passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very special. They call and book the wedding for this weekend. Only one wedding can happen on a weekend, right? No other weddings because it's just not big enough. The lady is an old lady who's writing down the information, and before she can write it down the calendar to book it, really, she croaks. In come Reese Witherspoon. Is it Reese Witherspoon? Yeah, it's Reese Witherspoon. Yeah. She is a movie producer. No, not movie. Reality TV producer. And her sister is getting married. And I guess they had some issues with the family, right? The mom and whatnot. And so they're really close. And so Reese is taking on the responsibilities of setting up her wedding. And, of course, they have ties to this island as well because of their grandma. And they booked the same day because it never fully got written down. Well, it kind of got written down, but the pen was out of ink, so it was just the indentation of it. All right, this is the issue here. They all meet at the same time, and they got to work through all their shit, and they decide that, hey, we'll share the island, and we'll split this and do 2 weddings at the same time, and just kind of like, you'll be over there while we're doing this thing, and then we'll switch and separate everything. And that was their plan, because Reese Witherspoon just felt really bad for Will Ferrell's character, because he lost his wife and everything, and how much the island meant to them. So, obviously you can see where the comedy's coming from with all this. And the comedy, like, there are moments where I would say it's like laugh out loud, and that is all coming from Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell is hilarious in this film. Every single time, like, he's pretty much on the screen, he just did his thing. Reese Witherspoon, not as funny, and kind of like that everyone else not as funny. Like, it's almost like 2 separate things where, like, Reese and, like, her side of the family are kind of like doing like this family comedy that's kind of really, not outrageous, and then you get to Will Ferrell where, like, he's doing this outrageous comedy, and it just felt weird at times, but you're laughing because it's Will Ferrell, right? I don't think I need to describe anything else on this plot, because you get it with that whole issue, right? You can see where this is going to go, and yada, yada. Obviously, everyone kind of figures out their shit, and, they got to have their breakdown and everything. But overall, I think what I got from this is that Will Ferrell is really funny. It's this whole Reese and Will Ferrell connection thing that I thought it was kind of a strange mashup. I don't know if that quite worked, because damn, Reese Witherspoon has really aged really, really well. I watched this with Danielle the whole time. It's like, man, I need to know what lotion she's using, because her skin looks perfect, and it looks like she has not aged a day in her life, and she could go right back and do Legally Blonde 60 and play that teenager. It was pretty crazy. It's a pretty good watch.
Okay.
I laughed enough to recommend it, with just, have lower expectations, that it's not just a laugh riot the whole time. So, but it's pretty good. And it's on Amazon Prime, so you're good to go. It's free, basically, if you're paying for that.
Good deal. Well, I think it's about that time to wrap things up like a condom. Oh, wait, wrong one. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but I saw the new commercial, and I think we should update our clip.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
Yes! Oh, God. Oh. I'll have what she's having.
Yeah. What are you having, Ryan?
I'm going to give a shout out to Dylan, my coworker, because ever since he found out that I do a podcast on movies and B-movie trivia and stuff like that, we go down rabbit holes every day, and like, this dude knows weird internet stuff, but he comes up to me, and if he comes up to me and tells me, like, you need to see this movie or you need to see this show, and he continues to bug me about it, it must be good. So he recommended this show, and I like to get his input because it's ongoing right now. It's on Adult Swim /Max. It's called Common Side Effects. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay, so Common Side Effects. The animation style is weird, very much like Adult Swim. It kind of looks like anime, but it looks like their American style anime, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Created by Joseph Bennett, Steve Healy, the voices of David King, Emily Pendergast, Mike Judge, Martha Kelly, Joseph Lee Anderson. Did you notice how I skimmed through Mike Judge? Because he's the executive producer along with Greg Daniels. This is such a perfect blend of a Mike Judge animated series and one of his movies.
I think Greg Daniels, I think he's the guy that helped make The American Office.
Yeah. So the premise of this, it follows two high school friends, Marshall and Francis, and they reconnect and they find a blue mushroom, psychedelic mushroom, a legendary mystery mushroom that acts as a drug that can cure all illnesses. So they find this mushroom, and Marshall finds out that he died and ate this mushroom and came back to life. You obviously go through a weird psychedelic trip, but since he found this, he told one person, but then he's going through telling other people in this mushroom community that have heard about this legendary mushroom, and he kind of finds himself on the run from government agencies, conspiracy stuff, pharmaceuticals, because he has this, and he has a tortoise right now. So it's a very interesting watch.
Sounds
and
like it.
This is one, I mean, they're maybe half hour long, but they're kind of one where watch them, absorb it, and watch it again. And keep on going until this story builds up, because we're on episode 3 and there's 10 more episodes. So this ends by the end of March. And I don't say this often, 3 episodes in, it's a pretty good series, especially animated. And one of the characters straight up sounds like Hank Hill.
Well, it's Mike Judge.
Yeah, so.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I did not hear about that, so that's fun. Keeping with the Amazon Prime theme, I guess I've been watching a lot of it. I just put on, I was bored one day. I needed something. I had to do some housework. I wanted that background noise. And so I put on a show called Last Fan Standing. And Bruce fucking Campbell is the host of it. And I haven't really looked into this, but it was it seems like it was filmed at a Comic-Con and from a live audience, and it's not your typical TV show, right? It's kind of rough. But it's just trivia, nerd trivia. They got 3 contestants, and Bruce he's just such a charming dude, man. And why I really like it is just because I know a lot of the answers. So I'm just testing my trivia for all the nerdy stuff and trying to beat the contestants there. And it's just kind of a fun thing to do if you're into trivia, and you just get to put this on and just answer stuff while you're doing housework if you want to. So
what I've noticed about, I love that. I've noticed about 2025 is a lot of things that we've talked about have come to fruition. This reminds me of a time when we went to a Doug Benson trivia podcast show, and we're like, man, this would be perfect with us and Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Why are we not on this?
We gotta meet him first.
One day, one of our things is gonna hit, and it's gonna be super hot fire. It's gonna blow up.
Yeah, it's gonna explode. So one day we'll get there, Ryan. We're at almost 365 episods. We have 15 total hours, 15 days of nonstop recordings minimum. There's more because sometimes these go super long. But man, if there isn't any gold nuggets within the 15 days of recordings, we're doing something wrong, and we're not.
Wait, so are we recording 15 days straight?
No, we already have that. We already have that.
Oh, I thought we were going to up the ante and
Oh shit, man, that's tough. I don't know how we're gonna do that. But goals, right? We're very ambitious. So until next time, Ryan, when we figure out the whole 15-day show.
Hey guys! Oh, big gulp, son. All right. Well, see you later.
See you later.
Oh. Sorry, I got some clips to play. Oh, there it is.